Hello viewers, I am Dr. K.S. Neharkar and I welcome you in my YouTube channel lecture series on labor laws first. Viewers, in this lecture we are going to discuss merits and demerits of collective bargaining. Friends, as you know, the collective bargaining is most effective tool or method to solve the industrial dispute because the dispute is solved by both parties through mutual discussion and negotiation. Therefore, it is very effective. The collective bargaining may have some merits and demerits. In this lecture, we are going to discuss these merits and demerits. Friends, as we know, the collective bargaining is effective tool to solve the dispute because it gives chance for mutual decision making. It helps to establish good relation. It preserves the continuous relation and it encourages good relation. So it have many merits, but there can be demerits also. Here we are going to discuss all those merits and demerits. The first we are going to discuss the merits of collective bargaining. First merit of collective bargaining is it provides settlement of dispute through dialogue. Friends, the dialogue means there is a communication between the parties, and therefore, here the issues are discussed by parties. They puts their demands and grievances. They listen the demands and grievances also, and when the discussion and negotiation results in satisfactory, then the parties enters into agreement. Therefore, what the dispute is solved by the parties, it is solved through negotiation. The second merit of collective bargaining is it provides for the participation of both parties. The collective bargaining is nothing but an example of sharing of rule making power between employer and employees. Friends, before the evolution of concept of collective bargaining, the rule making power was with the employer, but with the development of collective bargaining process, the employer is ready to share this rule making power, at least in decision making regarding employment, non-employment, etc. Therefore, this is the merit which provides opportunity for both parties in a participation of decision making. Next merit of collective bargaining is it ensures peace for period of agreement. Friends, as you know, when collective bargaining results in satisfactory discussion and parties arrive at acceptable decision, the parties enter into agreement. It is called as collective bargaining agreement, and it is enforceable for the period which is mentioned in it. Therefore, whenever any dispute arises, that dispute between employer and employee shall be decided as per the terms and conditions of agreement entered between the parties. Therefore, the collective bargaining ensures peace for the period which is provided by the agreement. Then, next merit of collective bargaining is it encourages social partnership. See, as the industry belongs to owner, it belongs to employer, and worker is only the person who is concerned with his wages. But with the development of collective bargaining process, the owner shares rule making power of industry, and all the decisions of industry which are related to employment, non-employment, and the terms and conditions which regulate the relation. These are decided by both parties through the discussion. Therefore, it creates a feeling in the minds of workers that they are not just workers, but they are the partners in industry. Therefore, this is the example of social partnership. It creates the feeling of social partnership. Next merit of collective bargaining is it preserves the relationship of faith and trust. The collective bargaining process is the process which solves the conflicting issues with discussion and negotiation. The decisions are acceptable to both parties. Here, the position of winner, the position of employer and employee is winners, and therefore it creates a faith and trust between parties, and parties are assured that they are not going to be subject of exploitation by other party. So both parties tries to preserve the faith. They are not going to break the faith of other party. Then next merit is it improves industrial relation. It establishes good relation. It preserves harmonious relation, and therefore it results into improvement of industrial relation. Both parties work for good of industry. So the improvement in a relation can be seen at workplace. The workers are working for better production. They are working for development of industry. Therefore, such improvement can be seen by increase in productivity. Next merit of collective bargaining is it is based upon bipartite agreement. See, the agreement which is a result of collective bargaining, it is the superior form of agreement. The parties themselves bound to follow the terms and conditions which are mentioned in an agreement. There is no need of third party policing for implementation of terms and conditions under such agreement. Then next merit is it is a very quick method of dispute settlement. It is very efficient method of dispute settlement. If parties cooperate properly, the problems or the matters or the dispute can be solved very quickly. It may take very few time for the dispute settlement. Again, such process is very efficient method. It is cost efficient, it is time efficient also. Then next merit of collective bargaining is it is a democratic method to solve the dispute. Here there is no unilateral decision making. The employer and employees both sit together. They meet face to face. They consider the demands, grievances put by each other, and they take the decision in a democratic way which is acceptable to both parties. Therefore, it is a democratic method where the voice of all the parties is concerned. It is considered. Then next merit of collective bargaining is it provides for legally based bilateral relations. The collective bargaining process, if successful, its result in collective bargaining agreement. The agreement which is binding on both parties. The agreement has a legal status. both parties has to follow their rights and liabilities. If any party breaches the terms and conditions of such agreement, the other party can seek its enforcement, so it have the legal status. So these are some merits of collective bargaining process. Now we are going to see the demerits of collective bargaining. See, the demerits of collective bargaining are only because of non cooperation between the parties. But see, we are going to discuss which are those demerits. First demerit is lack of representation of public interest. The collective bargaining process is a bipartite process. The employer and employees, in a representative manner, they meet together to solve the conflicting issues. They discuss the issues, they negotiate the issues and solve the conflicting issues. Here, they may try to protect their own interest and they may neglect the public interest because in collective bargaining there is a lack of public representation. There is no public to raise their issues. Therefore, this is also one demerit of collective bargaining process. Then second demerit is management's authority and freedom are more restricted by negotiated rule. The employer has a basic liberty to establish and administer his industry. It is his inherent liberty, and he must have all the powers to administer his industry as it is affordable to him. But it may result into exploitation of weaker section, that is labor. Therefore, for the benefit of both, the collective bargaining process is evolved. But due to this, the management authority and freedoms are now restricted by the terms and conditions of collective bargaining. Another demerit of collective bargaining is this process may be misused by few activist employees. The workers, they enters into collective bargaining through representation. These representatives are expected to discuss and negotiate for the benefit of workers at large. But these activist representative or the employees may misuse this process. They may protect their personal gains rather than the collective gains or collective interest of all the workers. Then next demerit of collective bargaining is it may require longer time for decision making. Yes, the collective bargaining is very effective method to solve the dispute. But for that purpose, it requires proper cooperation from both the parties. If any party does not cooperate properly, in such circumstances, it may take longer time for dispute settlement. It is just the misuse of process. So, in such circumstances, the collective bargaining may not be fruitful and it may not be successful in settlement of dispute. Another demerit of collective bargaining is it may not be practicable for workers in small industries because the formation of trade union is possible only where there are large number of workers working in that industry. Full stop. There, the employer may require to recognize right to form association, etc. But This is not in case of small industries, because the collective bargaining power is not sufficient there. There may not be the right of association. The trade unions may not be allowed to be formed. Therefore, the workers may not successfully bargain with the employer. So, therefore, it is not possible to workers in a small industries. And lastly, it restricts management's ability to deal with individual labor. As I have already told you, it is management's special right to establish and administer his industry and to employ the workers as per his liberty, as it is affordable to him. But with the development of this collective bargaining, now the management cannot enter into separate agreement with individual workers stating different terms and conditions of employment. So this is also the demerit of collective bargaining process. So friends, these are the merits and demerits of collective bargaining process. If you like my video, please share with your friends, and please share my YouTube channel, subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you friends, thank you.